today's video, I am going to be breaking down a defensive strategy that you can use if you run the man-to-man defense to stop other teams from driving to the rim. These are fantastic strategies if you are going up against a team that likes to run an offense called drive and kick, which is a fantastic 5-out strategy that I personally run myself, and you can find in my complete guide to the 5-out offense that is down in the description below. But really quickly, let's get down. Let's check out this amazing strategy that you can run in man defense to be able to stop teams from doing this. If you want my deadly defensive strategies, make sure to go check that out down in the description below as well. Okay, so really quickly, let's say we are playing against a 5-out offense. We are going to be the red team on defense, and we are playing man-to-man defense. Now, generally speaking, if you're coaching young kids, they're going to be probably like this. If you are coaching man-to-man defense and you're doing it somewhat properly, player 4 should be 1 step, big step away, 5 should be 1 step, big step away, 2 and 3 should be 2 big steps away. Now, this still leaves big driving lanes if this offensive player knows what he's doing. While player 5 and 4 technically are guarding the gaps, they are not guarding these driving lanes. And if this offensive player is any kind of smart or any kind of strong, he is going to be able to take the shoulder out of his defense, and he's going to have this wide open lane basically down the middle of the court. And what will eventually happen is he will draw in the help from these two defenders here, either one side or the other or both, which then gives him a clean kick out lane and then a quick drive, kick, and then swing, because what's going to happen is he's going to be able to kick it out, let's say, to player 3. Now, he needs to recover to help out. Technically, he needs to go up here, but what will happen is he will start here and then recover out, noticing that his teammate has now taken his man, which then leaves player 4 absolutely wide open for that 3-point shot. And this is something that we don't want to have, because if he's a good shooter, we don't want him to have an open shot. And if player 3 was originally recovering out to where that ball was kicked, this is now a massive lane for player 4 to drive in. This can then take this defender, in which case player 2 has a backdoor cut. Very simple offense, reading and reacting to the defense, and we don't really want the offense to be able to do this. So how can we stop them from doing this? Well, you can run a tight man defense, which means that if the ball is not in your guy's hands, you now zone up in the key. This now takes away that driving lane, because if he gets past his man, player 5 will be there to be able to cut off that drive. Now, while this kick out pass will be very easy to happen, guess what? That's only maybe 2 big steps to be able to recover back to his man. This means that you are going to be cutting off their ability to be able to get that ball into the paint, which means that there's going to be less players collapsing. Now, if the ball is on the wing, what you'll probably most likely do is have player 1 zone down towards the elbow, player 5 is going to be man on, and then I would personally prefer player 2 just to play a bit outside of the key. That way he's a little bit closer to player 2. And in this case, if player 2 does get out of the key, I would prefer player 3 to take the middle. I'm not too worried about cross-court passes. I'm not too worried about skip passes, even though player 4 should be able to get that and player 3 should be able to get that. I just want to be able to stop any ball from going in that key. We don't want that to happen, because that is what their whole offense is predicated around, because they want that ball in the paint to be able to collapse your man defense, kick it out, swing, now the defense is scrambling, and then either shoot or drive again. We don't want that to happen, so we want to keep that ball out of the paint as much as humanly possible. Now, there's another strategy that you can use as well. So, for example, if player 1 was to pass to player 4, player 4 is now man on. We may want to have player 3 a bit higher. 2 takes the middle of the key. 1 zones up. Now, if player 1 makes that pass and he wants to cut, instead of player 1 zoning up, if we were able to read this offense and know that they are running a pass and cut, I would want player 1 to get in the way of player 1 blue. So if player 1 blue is cutting this way, I would want player 1 to stand in front of him and make his life difficult. Maybe take a charge. Off-ball charges are very, very important to be able to take. But you just want to stand your ground. Obviously, if you are trying to get in the way of the offensive player, you have to have your feet planted. You cannot be moving, or else it's a foul on you. But you need to be able to cut off his driving lane. If that happens, obviously these players are moving up, which means that when they rotate up, we will have player 5 follow up because we don't want that player to get in the way as almost like a screen, and then he can zone up again on that high post. Player 2 will take here until player 1 is through, in which case he will then move up to that high post. Player 1 fills out. Player 1's red stays in the middle of that key. That would be roughly the rotation that we would see. But in general, the idea is just to get in the way of the offensive players. Whether they are cutting off ball or driving to the rim, we just want to take off their path so that they don't have a clean lane to that basket. Make sure to go check out my deadly defensive strategies that are down in the description below. And make sure to go check out my 5-out complete guide that is down there as well. I'll see you guys again in my next video.